Well, her name is Janita Vance. Uh, she was a person with integrity, and she was somebody that if she loved you, she loved you, And like if she didn't have it, like barely had it, she'd give it to you. That's the type of person she was. Um, to me, she was somebody irreplaceable. She was somebody that I knew if I ever fell on my back, she would give me a spine if it broke, and I feel like to me, Janita just she was really somebody special to me, man. And it just it hurt to see her gone. My relationship with Janita, it was more of admiration. She made me want to achieve things, even though she's the youngest sibling. She made me want to achieve things that I never thought I could achieve just because of the insight and like the just watching how she made her formula to become great and things she did. She made more money than me. I'm like, I gotta make more money. It was just like it was like a competitive thing, but in a positive way, in a healthy way. My relationship with Janita growing up, we were very close. All of us as siblings were very close. But specifically, my relationship with Janita, it was something that always kept me motivated, especially just watching her from her saving money, getting her first car made me want to do my thing. And like the way she saved money, the way Janita just her mentality, her intellect, she was very smart, and it just growing up growing up with her, knowing her intellect, it just made me become more studious and more like focused on my goals. And so our relationship was very close. We always hung out. When I first found out Janita was gone, it was like a panic, anxiety kind of, but it just felt like I lost my grandma, I lost everybody, and just to lose her, knowing that she's so young, and we had dreams of, she wanted to see my daughter when she was born. It was just like I don't. It was more like anxiety than anything. Um, when I lost Janita, it nights became hard. It became hard to sleep. Like the first 3 to 4 months, like 3.5 months, I was just the first 2 months I was just in tears, crying every night, just like what am I living for? And after that, it was just like, well, what do we do next? I want people to understand those who lost people by police violence, that it's hard when you got people that you expect to protect and serve, that you pay to protect and serve, and they abuse that power. The hardest part of living without Janita is before before my baby was born, we had conversations like I'm gonna be a great aunt, and now that my baby born, I sit and look at her and I'm like, she looked just like her, and she always said, man, if your baby ever come out, she gonna look just like me, because everybody always called us like twins. We always looked alike, me and Janita and I. The hardest part is just knowing I lost a great family member, a valued family member. I think not only for myself, but all my family. I think everybody understands that we lost somebody that meant a lot to everybody. I feel like it would have been different. Not only I feel like not only would they have sped up the investigation, had my sister had did anything wrong, they would have posted the video and had sped up the investigation. So I think just because Janita is in the right and they know that she's in the right without dragging her name through the mud and actually doing an investigation, they can actually do their job. I don't see what's wrong with holding those who abuse power to accountability. Well, I mean, we speaking on the here and now. but I think it goes way beyond what is here and now. Like, is police officers were established back when my ancestors was, you know, fighting for their rights and fighting for the things that they believe in and fight for justice for all black communities. But I think with those that are in power right now, that abuse that power to use the police departments and officers for money and for corruption, I feel like that's the problem we have right now. And I feel like it's gotten even deeper since then. What justice looked like for Janita, it looks like accountability, transparency, and real reform. And when I say real reform, I say that because this same thing happened to Mike Brown. I went to school with Mike Brown in Normandy. I mean, what about Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and everybody else? It seemed like it's always the same thing every time on repeat, not knowing that this is real bloodshed and these are real people's lives that are being torn apart. I love my sister and can't get her back. So when I say real reform, I mean real change. What I would say to people that say that Janita must have did something wrong, well, allegedly there was a situation at White Castles where someone was shot, and the the police department claims that she had something to do with that incident. But we have not had any transparency to see anything. They haven't shown us anything. So we don't know what we're looking at. We don't understand. And that's where we're at right now. Um, and prior to that, in July, there were a group of people that came to her house and shot at her work van. So we're trying to figure out this situation and understand this situation in depth. What keeps me going in this fight, justice for Janita, I think about all of the other victims that had to endure this and there's still no change. I think about Janita and the person she was, kind-hearted, a great soul. And I just think about that. And then not only that, but I look at my daughter and I'm like, this happened so close to home. You know, you only usually see this on TV. And you like, man, that could never happen to me. But then you see it and it's like, my mama going through this. And I have a daughter now, so I'm looking and I'm like, Jesus, if that was my daughter, what, like, I don't know really the strength in my mom is what keep me going, because I don't know how she's dealing with it, how any mother could deal with the death of their child. The local help that we've uh, tried to receive or reached out to receive, we've went to Washington, we went to Chuck Schumer's office, talked to Justin, um, we spoke with a representative of Mayor Spencer's office and a representative of Congressman Wesley Bell. We've also spoke with the local NAACP of Missouri. We filed complaints with the DOJ and the local St. Louis Police Oversight Committee. How do I cope while continuing to advocate for my sister? I watch my mom work tirelessly day in and day out, searching for transparency, but how is there a way to cope when there is no transparency? When you are expecting transparency, um, there is no real way to cope. The way that I cope with this pain is just waking up every day, understanding that it's something of a greater purpose, something bigger than me, because this has been going on for generations. Beyond just Janita, what changes would I want to see in real policing so other families wouldn't go through this? I would want to see training on de-escalation. I would want to see more compassion, understanding that we all human beings, we all go through something, and we all are flawed. Just because someone made a mistake in the moment does not mean that you can judge them because you're not the judge or the jury. I would ask for more just understanding than anything. What would I say to elected officials that would have the power to change the system? I would say start acting. Start acting on the power that was given to you and start making changes. I would say don't fall so far into politics that you can't come back towards the civilians and the citizens that elected you and create new ways to build relationships not only with amongst citizens that are at odds with each other, but amongst citizens and police, amongst citizens and politicians. Why not build a greater relationship and a greater community together instead of just getting in that position and drowning in power? That's what I would say. What I would want people to understand after watching this video, that it could be one of their loved ones, as well as I would want people to stand with us for transparency and accountability. And then I've watched the video of Mike Brown passing, Breonna Taylor, and I never thought this would impact my family or even be a topic in the conversation of my family. If Janita could see me right now, I think she would say what she always said to me, that she loved me, that she proud of me, and that she wouldn't expect no less from me standing right here with my mom, trying to get justice, making sure that this happens to no other family to have to endure this type of pain.